The desert wind carried the scent of sage and something else, something sweeter, almost sickeningly so. Silas Blackwood's livery stable reeked of it, sandalwood. Jedediah Stone knelt beside the chalk outline, the dust clinging to his worn trousers. Young Clem stood sentinel, his face grim in the harsh afternoon light. "Clean job," Marshal Clem said, his voice barely above a whisper. "Too clean." Jedediah grunted, tracing the outline of Silas's small form with a calloused finger. No witnesses. No signs of a struggle aside from the single, brutal gunshot wound to the chest. The man had been executed, and the sandalwood, it was a mockery. Jedediah's gut twisted. This wasn't a drunken brawl gone wrong. This was something else entirely. "Find anything, Clem?" "Just this, Marshal." Clem held up a single crimson ruby lying amongst the trampled straw. "Didn't belong to Mr. Blackwood, as far as I can tell." Jedediah pocketed the ruby. A calling card, perhaps, or a taunt. He stood, brushing the dust from his trousers, and surveyed the stable. Everything had been meticulously cleaned. Too meticulous. "Someone wanted this to look like an accident," he said, his voice low and rough. "He's been questioning Elias Thorne for hours." The wealthy landowner had initially offered his condolences, a picture of grief and despair, but Jedediah hadn't bought it for a second. Thorne's grief felt performative, calculated. "Your brother was a complicated man, Mr. Thorne," Jedediah said, his voice patient but firm. "He had dealings, I suspect, that weren't entirely above board." Thorne wrung his hands, his face pale and slick with sweat. "Silas, he had his flaws, yes, but he was my brother. And you knew about his dealings?" Thorne's eyes darted away. I didn't want to pry." Jedediah leaned forward, his gaze unwavering. "Someone paid a drifter to deliver a message to your brother, Mr. Thorne, a message that cost him his life." Thorne flinched. "I didn't hire anyone." "The man in the dark hat, Mr. Thorne. Where is he?" Thorne's composure finally crumbled. He slumped in his chair, his face buried in his hands. "I just wanted him to scare him, to warn him." "Warn him about what?" "About New Orleans," Thorne whispered, his voice trembling. "He was importing things, goods he shouldn't have been." "And you thought a little scare would stop him?" "I didn't think it would come to this," Thorne sobbed. "I swear I didn't want him dead." Jedediah signaled to Clem. "Take him." As Clem led a protesting Thorne away, Jedediah felt a chill crawl down his spine. He knew, with a certainty that settled deep in his bones, that this was just the beginning. The sandalwood scent lingered in the air, a silent promise of more to come. He walked to the edge of Thorne's sprawling estate, a manicured lawn stretching before him like a green ocean. In the distance the town of Redemption held its breath, unaware of the darkness that was about to descend. He saw Elias Thorne watching from the porch of her camp, her face an unreadable mask. She was a puzzle he couldn't solve. Her presence felt deliberate, calculated. A figure emerged from the shadows of the woods bordering the garden, a man in a dark hat. He didn't speak, didn't move. He simply watched, his eyes like chips of obsidian. Jedediah knew with a sinking dread that the game had only just begun. "You're making a mistake," he said, his voice low and dangerous. The man in the dark hat smiled, a slow, predatory curve of his lips. "Not at all, Marshal. I'm just ensuring things stay permanent." Then, as quickly as he'd appeared, he vanished into the shadows, leaving Jedediah standing alone in the fading light, the scent of sandalwood heavy in the air.